Maharaj Krishna Prabhu here? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Shpat Brahmans Parivedacharya Astotarasa. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. We start with Mangalacharan prayers. Father.
If we can have everyone please move right forward, especially that area, it's blockage there. Lots more devotees will be coming. Please move right forward, please.
You can come close, I don't mind. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You can all recite Mangalacharan prayers together. They are on the screen. Om Ajnanathimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamadam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hi, welcome everyone again. We've had a few more people join. Thank you everyone for spending the Saturday with us. I usually say you could have been anywhere on this Saturday. Saturday night, usually people like to go out and do things, but you decided to come and celebrate it with us, so thank you so much. Okay, let's get started. So today's topic is, for some of you who don't know, today's topic is when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. Right? It's an unusual topic. I was just speaking to Ramanuja Prabhu earlier, and he said, and he was saying that I was actually thinking, when I got this message, just before I got this message about this topic, I was thinking, I've got a lot of lemons with me, what do I do with them? And the message went out that the topic of the class is, when life gives you lemon, you're going to make lemonade. So anyhow, so thank you again for joining. So this topic really signifies that, when we all wake up in the morning, we all don't expect that we're going to get challenges in life, or we're not going to get obstacles in life. We don't wake up planning for what challenge is going to come, right? We always are thinking positively. We always thinking, we expect things to just go smoothly. But do they ever go smoothly? No, usually no. Most of you, I think, didn't say anything. So lots of people's life are smooth here, is it? No? Anyhow. So, we see that usually most people find there's lots and lots of obstacles. So, there was a car that was going, it says, sticker on the back, it says, do not disturb. Already disturbed. So, you can see that, people's lives, or everyone's life, there's lots of ups and downs that we see. So, a king once summoned all his everyone from his praja, as they say. He summoned everyone and said, guys, he asked them a question. He said, I want to give me something that when I'm happy, it makes me feel sad. And when I'm sad, that it makes me feel happy. So most of them are wondering, what is this king, on about? What does he want? When I'm happy, he wants me to give him something that will make him sad. And then when he's sad, he wants to make him happy. But obviously there is always these stories, and there is a king story, there is always a wise person coming into the picture, right? So there's a wise guy, he came and gave him a box. The box had a ring. You know what the ring said? It said there's a 4-letter word. Someone said these two shall pass. Someone knew? I think Mataji's probably heard a class that I'm referring this to from. So these two shall pass, right? So it's a 4-letter word, these two shall pass. So when he's happy, if he reads these two shall pass, what's going to happen? Sadness is around the corner, obstacles around the corner, challenges around the corner. And when he's sad, if he reads this, okay, it gives him some positivity, right? That something positive is going to happen. So some of you, when I posed the question, because this is a class that I heard, and in the class someone said, when they asked the question, what will make you happy when you're sad, and when you're sad make you happy? Someone, what someone said? Yes. Who is that? Yeah, someone said marriage. Anyhow. So these two shall pass, Prabhu. So many of you also sitting here, all of us sitting here, we are wondering, what to do with these challenges, right? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matra sparshas tu konteya, sito sanastu kadukada, agama pai no nityam tam tikitsava bharata. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that ups and downs are like seasons, like summer and winter. They will change. So like, in this case, these two shall pass. Like summer and winter, right? That's what Krishna teaches us in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna basically says through this verse that we need to become tolerant. Right? We all need to become tolerant with our life situations because things happen. Things happen in our life which we don't plan for all the time. So I've got a cup here. Right? There's a cup here. Now if I ask you, okay, I'm going to take a sip first. If I ask you, you might think, okay, here is this Prabhu again with the half empty, half full cup analogy. No, it's not that. So sorry to disappoint you all. It's not that. Okay, so this is the cup, right? It's half full. How heavy is the cup? Half heavy, someone said. Is it? Yeah, anyone else? How heavy is the cup? How much? I think it's heavy. Yeah.
What do you think about how heavy? If you think it's heavy, it's heavy. If you think that's not heavy, that's not heavy. That's
Okay.
about your mind.
Okay, it's about my mindset. Yeah, that's what she said. Yes, anyone else? Basically, when we say how heavy is this cup, it's actually as heavy for as long as we hold it for. Right? So it might be only, I don't know, a few ounces or a few grams. But if you hold it for too long, right, this few grams cup will also become really heavy. Our hand will also start hurting. So it really depends on, as she said, it's how we take things, right? It's how long we are holding on to things. So these challenges which we are talking about, these obstacles that we're talking about, when they come to us, it's how long we hold them for. That's what makes the difference. So like this cup, our challenges will come, and probably, it's how we deal with these things will make the difference. So there is a story of Avanti Brahmana. Some of you might have already heard about it. So I was just saying, difficulties will come, disappointments will come, obstacles will come, changes will come. We'll have this. Okay, I forgot to mention this point actually. So changes will come, obstacles will come, but a lot of us, when these things come, a lot of people try and blame this on others of why things are happening to you. We go into this, they call it the victim mentality mode, right? That why is it happening to me? It's got to be because of someone else. Usually, a lot of people do that. So, why is this victim mentality so detrimental? Yes. So, because we are trying to blame everyone else in everything that we do, and we are, and this again, I heard this somewhere, and most people said, what they said? They said, who are you trying to blame? Most people said, my mother-in-law. So before you blame anyone else, we should first look inwards, right? We should first look inwards. So there's a story about the Avanti Brahmana that I was going to say. And then there's a verse. Dvija uvacha nayam jano me sukha dukha hetur na devatma graha karma kala mana param karanam amananti samsara chakram parivartayet. The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it's the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. So what is he really trying to tell us? That the ultimate cause is, and this is at the end of his life, he says, is my mentality. It's how I deal with things. How my mind deals with things. So a lot of people think, I'm going to walk away from the situation, I'm going to go away and just don't want to be with these people or whatever it is. But what comes with you is your mind. Right? So your mind comes with you wherever you go. So whenever we are in this mode of blaming others, that others are causing us any distress, it's really, we need to look inwards. It's what our mentality is. It's how we are dealing with the situation. And that's what we learn from the Bhagavatam, from this Avanti Brahmana, from his realizations. So, when we are blaming others, when we are going away, we are actually putting factors that are not in our control, in control of our life. Does that make sense? So we are putting factors that are not in our control, in control of our life, because we're saying someone else is the cause of my misery. We are actually putting in their hands of what they are doing to us, and that's why we're giving them the control. Yeah. So this is very important for us to understand. And the moment we all realize this, we can get rid of that victim mentality. Right? We often get children at home. I've got 2 young children. They come home and not every day, but things happen at school. And they said, "Oh, he kicked me," or "He did this," and he did that, and it's always them. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know. Maybe your kids are good. My kids it's always others' fault. They did this to me. They did that to me. This guy did this to me. But when we really look at it, we also need to look inwards also at ourselves or what you did. Yeah. So today, I just wanted to give a slight introduction like that. So today, I want to talk about obviously obstacles, and we've already established that it's really based on our mentality. It's what our mentality is. That's where obstacles come from. So we're going to look at it from three things, three ways, right? So whenever obstacles come in a life, what is our mindset, right? What is our mindset? So when obstacles come, we say, firstly, we don't, before they come, we say, it's not going to happen to me, because you're not going to plan. In the morning, you're going to wake up and not think about them. But, so most of us are in the mode that this is not going to happen to me, right? It's not going to come. But once you think, okay, once they come, you say, you know what? They're bad. These obstacles are bad. I don't like them. Now once you admit it, that okay, they are bad, then you go into this other mode which says they are insurmountable, which means it's going to be very difficult to overcome these obstacles, right? Yeah. So Krishna says, so okay, firstly, does anyone know this guy? Has anyone?
Arthur.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu is a tennis follower. Yeah, Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe or Arthur Gray? Arthur Ashe, I think his name is. So he's a tennis player. Almost 50 years ago, he won Wimbledon. His name is Arthur Ashe, and his story is quite amazing. So he won the Wimbledon, and he was very, very happy, and so on. But then he had a heart issue. He had an issue with his heart, and he had to go through some blood transfusion. So while he was going through some blood transfusion to help him, there was some issue, and he caught HIV. He became HIV positive because of some issue. So this was, I'm talking about, almost 50 years ago. So all his fans were writing to him and feeling very sad for him. It was like, what's happening to you? Are you okay? Do you ever question, why me? Have you ever questioned yourself, why me? Why did it happen to you? Because, this was something that was actually trying to save his life. This was something that was trying to save his life, but it actually now is a cause of something terminal for him. Right? So something that was saving his life, now it's terminal for him. Just the very same reason. We've got a few doctors in the room, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, he said something really nice. He said, say 5 million people play tennis throughout the world, Out of that, say 500,000 become professional. Many, say maybe 5,000 reach the professional status, right? The 500 people may participate in Grand Slam. Out of that, maybe only 50 get to participate in Wimbledon. Out of that, only 2 reach the finals. And out of that, only 1 person wins. And say, when I won, I never said to anyone, that why me? So when I'm getting difficulties in life, why should I say why me? Right? So this is about the mentality we were talking about earlier. It's how to face it. So, he says, this is his exact words, quote unquote, when I was in holding the cup in my hand, I never asked God, why me? So now that I'm in pain, how can I ask God, why me? So can I show, with a show of hands, can we say, has anyone else had crisis in the past couple of years? No? Everyone's pretty healthy? A few people? Okay. Has anyone else in the past 2 years has issues with their career or finance or anything like that? You can admit it. A few more people? Okay. And then, has anyone had any issues where they've lost a close one in the past couple of years? Yes, a few people. Yeah, a few people. So we can see that challenges are there. Overall, a lot of people put their hand up, right? So we can see that obstacles are there for every single one of us sitting here. So, we call them life quakes. Right? We call them life quakes. As we got earthquakes, there is life quakes. So in our life, we'll see at least 5 or 6 times we'll have these issues. There's relationship issues, career issues, identity or dishonor issues, natural disasters that happen, physical, mental health disorders. That is part of our lives, everyday life. Right? This will keep happening. And that is a sad reality. But how can we overcome it? So then after we say, we said here that obstacles won't come, but they do come. And then what did we say? Now we say that the second thing we say is, after they come, obstacles are bad. Obstacles are not good. Because in fact we've got them. Firstly, we live in denial, as I say, that obstacles won't come at all. When they come, then we say, obstacles are bad. Now the reality is setting in. Obstacles are bad. So this is the story of Maharaj Chitraketu. I shared it in Bhagavatam class for those of you who were there a few days ago, on I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll go a bit deeper than what we did. So even if you attended, this will add some value. So this is the story of Maharaj Chitraketu. So first read a verse. So this says, this material world resembles the wave of a constantly flowing river. Therefore, what is a curse and what is a favor? What are the heavenly planets and what are the hellish planets? What is actually happiness and what is actually distress? Because the waves flow constantly and none of them have an eternal effect. So the story of Maharaj Chitraketu goes like this. So he was a wealthy king. He was a very, very wealthy king. But he had everything. He was very happy, on top of the world, as they say. But what happened after that? He got married, and then he couldn't have any kids. And then he went really sad. Then he was fortunate enough, some sages visited him, including Narad Muni, and they gave him a benediction that he can have a baby. And then with one of his wives, Kritadyuti, he had a son. Again he was, I'm so happy again. And then what happened? When the sages found out that they were expecting a son, the sages came to and said, your son's going to be named Harsha Dukha, I think it is. Harsha Shoka. So, the meaning of the name is that he will bring a lot of happiness, but he'll also give you a lot of despair. So then he again, and then the baby was born. And when the baby was born, they all forgot about everything, of what's going, what the sages had told him. And he again became really happy because, they was getting this baby was getting him so much joy that he again became really happy. And then what happened? All the other wives, other than Kritadyuti, they all got very envious of this kid because the king was only paying attention to Kritadyuti and the son, and all the other wives, he just forgot them. So what they did was, jealousy came in, and then enviousness set in, and then they actually poisoned the baby, and he died. And he was killed like that. So again, he was in despair again, he's down again. But then Narad Muni came, and somehow or the other, by mystical arrangement, he brought the baby to life, and the baby said to him that, and these are the words I want to just say as per it said in Bhagavatam. He says, according to the results of my fruitive activity, I, the living being, transmigrate from one body to another, sometimes going to the species of the demigods, sometimes to the species of lower animals, sometimes among the vegetables, and sometimes to human species. Therefore, in which birth were these my mother and father? No one is actually my mother and father. How can I accept these two people as my parents? Right? So he set it very straight. He said it how it is to his parents. And then Narad Muni, King Chitraketu understood that yes, that he's a soul, he's passing through. And then Narad Muni got inspired by him, and finally he became a devotee of Krishna. And he got again happy. But what happened after? After he became a devotee, he cursed Lord Shiva. He got cursed by Lord Shiva. And then again, he became very sad, he became a demon. Became Vritasura. I think a few years ago, Viraj Krishna Prabhu had narrated really good story, prayers of Vritasura. So after that, also he offered these prayers by Vritasura to Indra, and then he again became happy. So you see his life, right? Up and down and up and down and up and down. So I'm going to ask you all a question. Do you prefer a life that is comfortable, straight line, or do you want to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down? I know what I prefer. Straight line, right? Yeah, you just want it to be smooth, right? I can prove it that it's not the case. You all want science? Let's get you some science. Okay. I hope this works.
One more time. Once again, we have a single straight track that the energy is simply coming from me lifting it up.
Sorry. Okay, so here you can see that there is a straight track on the back, and the other one is up and down, up and down, up and down. Right? So just imagine that the start is where our starting point is, and the end is we want to go to Krishna. right? That's the aim of life, right? We want to go to Krishna. So let's see if the line is straight or all the curves. I knew I was going to have some issues with this.
One more time. Once again, we have a single straight track that the energy is simply coming from me lifting it up at the very beginning. And the second track, lifting it to the same height, it's dropping down, coming up, dropping down, coming up, dropping down, coming up, dropping down, and finally coming up. It's covering a considerable more distance in this track than it is in this one. Is that going to be enough to finally get the balls to match once they get to the other side? So let's try it, see what happens.
Okay, we saw. What came first? How is that possible? Yes, that's right. So, he used the word, kinetic energy is generated. When you go down, and can we all relate with that example? That when we are down, we are actually putting more effort, so we come up stronger, right? Yeah, so when you're going down again, it's a roller coaster, right? But I know some of you, at least I felt, yes, this is all good. But problems in my life are not like that deep. My problems are like that deep, Right? Yeah? Correct? Because we always feel that my problems are bigger than the other one's problem. Yes, he has some issues, but mine are, Prabhuji, what to tell you? It is very deep, very big issues I have got in life, So like that. So let's see what happens to those people or people like me.
So here we see another track that has a much larger drop from the straight track down to the lower position. Let's see what happens in this case. Even though the ball is dropping to a lower distance, it's still able to get it to the opposite side quicker because more of its potential energy is changing into kinetic, so it's covering that distance at a higher rate of speed.
So you see there is actually more distance, right? When you go in a straight line, it's a shorter distance. That's much longer distance, but still it goes faster. So that's what our life is like, right? It's never straight. Yes, we would all love it to be straight, Like you look at Maharaj Chitraketu's example, right? He was happy, then in despair. Happy, and then in despair again. Happy, then in despair again. I'm sure he would have loved to have, he was king, to have a son, be happy, and then, sort of slowly go towards Krishna. The shorter way, according to what he might have felt, but you can see, it's actually will take longer. Right? So we all believe in science, so hopefully that settled it. I think we can finish now. Everyone agree with this? Okay, so why does Krishna do this? The important question is, why does Krishna do this to us? Because we all want a straight life. We all want everything. We all want everything as per our desire. We want everything that I have planned it. That's how I want it, and we want to get to everything we want very, very quickly. But why does Krishna do this?
So that we don't become too comfortable in this world.
We don't become too comfortable in this world. Yes, that's a good answer. Yes, we don't become too comfortable. Anything else? I'm looking for something similar, but more detail. Complacent. Something. We learn from mistakes, yes. Become more humble, yes. That's good. What the scriptures tell us, that it is basically to remove our attachments. We are all attached. We are so attached to everything that this is mine, my house, my body, my family, my business, my job, my car, my, so on and so forth, my family, everything like that. We are very, very much attached to everything. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gives a very, very nice example. He says, there was this couple, they started rowing at night. They wanted to get to the horizon. So in the morning, when the sun rises, they can see the beautiful sunrise, both of them. So they, both of them sort of started rowing at night, and they just kept on rowing all night. It was dark, obviously they couldn't see much. And then the sun came. Guess what they saw? They were still. Exactly right. They were still there. They didn't move a single inch. And then they noticed, the anchor is still there. We forgot to take the anchor out. So that's like, the example is given, what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj is talking about, is that when this anchor, figuratively, is like our material attachments. Yes, we might come to the temple. Yes, we might do all of these things. Right? Yes, I'm pious. Or I've read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji. Yes, I know that. No problems. I know everything. We might say, yes, Prabhu, I offer prasadam every day. But really, if the attachment's still there, we're not going to move forward. Right? We're not going to move forward. Even Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had an example in this regard, where he says that if you fall, that he gives the example that this material world is like a salt mine. Has anyone of you seen a salt mine before? I never had. I was Googling and this is what I found. So there are salt mines. And this is a salt mine. You see the guy there at the bottom. Yeah, so this is how tall they can be. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Maharaj, he said that this is what material life is like. We fall, that when you fall in a mine of salt, it tastes very salty, and that's how it is like. In the beginning you might like it a bit, but otherwise just salt. Just imagine eating salt all the time, and so much salt. So there is, we say obstacles are bad, so I just want to continue with this. So there is this Prabhu, I found this story, I heard about him when I went to Bhaktivedanta Manor about 3 years ago. His name is Janakinath Prabhu. So he's here giving a TED talk. His talk is still there on TED talk. If you want to go and have a look, you can look at it. So basically, he's talking. He's about 31 years old when he's giving this TED talk, and he says, so he was telling everyone, I got the greatest gift of my life. I got the greatest gift of my life. Would you all like to see? So this is a TED talk. Right? Would you all like to see? And everyone said, yes, of course, we would like to see. What's the greatest gift you ever got? And then he showed this photo. I know it's a bit gross, but that's what he showed to everyone. And that is basically he had got cancer. So he's showing there that he's got cancer, and he got told, at 31 he got told that live as if you are double your age, and anything can happen to you anytime. Right? So Sudhava Prabhu back in the day, or now His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj, actually wrote a book on him. Right? Embracing, loving life, embracing death. So he says, he has these realizations that he's like, after these cancer diagnoses, he says that many wonderful things happened to me. Many, many wonderful things. He said, my perspective, as we talked about earlier, the mindset completely changed. He actually helped everyone, whoever he met. He got all the cancer patients in and helped them through everything, through their journey in cancer. So, like that, he helped a lot of people. He said, and 3 weeks before he was passing, he was speaking to then Sutapa Prabhu and now Keshav Maharaj, and he says that the last 5 years of my life has been the best I've ever had. I've had the most fun, I've become most conscious of God, I have helped everyone out, and frankly speaking, I have come closer to Krishna. I would not have done a single thing differently. So you see, the point I'm trying to make here is we don't want to be at this stage and change. But the point is that the shift in the mindset is what I'm trying to say. You see the shift in the mindset that he had, right? So, what we need to do is we need to embrace this change that goes on, in our lives. With these obstacles, when they come, they, in most ways, shape or form, they bring a change within us, or they push us to change. If we keep going, these obstacles will keep coming again and again and again. So they propel us to change. And when we change, a few really good things happen. First is, it gives us a whole new dimension, a whole new level of opportunities. Right? It builds our character. Right? It builds our character. It reorders our priorities. So when things happen, when bad things happen, yes, we understand what is more important to us in life. Right? Then it awakens creativity. So we have suddenly, when we feel like, I know I'm not creative at all, but when things happen, We just somehow or the other make ends meet, and you come up with creative solutions, really creative solutions. Like my Guru Maharaj used to joke, right? He used to say that he used to be in Vrindavan. He was the temple president there, and he used to say that sometimes we were doing accounts, and it's like big accounts, for all the whole temple and everything. And he's doing these accounts, and he goes, sometimes you do everything correctly, you think that everything's correct, but then there's a shortfall of $10. It's like, oh, you got to do the whole thing again. And he said, then I become creative. I just put $10 in. Overcome an obstacle simply. So anyway, but the point is, we become creative. Whenever we find challenges, we become creative in the way we solve the problems. And then also gratitude. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, we suddenly start to thank people. Right? We suddenly start to thank God for what we've got, rather than we start focusing on things that we've got than what we've lost or what we don't have. Right? So embracing change is very, very important. The third thing we spoke about was obstacles are insurmountable. Yes, that's the third thing. Yeah? So we go from, we're not going to get it. Yeah, when we wake up, yes, it's not going to happen to me. Then eventually it does. As I say, we live as if we're never going to die. Right? But eventually we know it's going to happen. And then when we're young, we don't realize it. But as we get a bit older, it may be a possibility. Then you say, okay, it's bad. So first we don't believe it. Then it sets in that yes, they're bad. And then you say, you know what? I can't do it. It's insurmountable. I can't do anything about it. So there's a beautiful verse in regards to this. Machita sarva durgani mat prasada trayisyasi atha chetvam ahankaram nashrayosi vinankashi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Right? So, it is said that instead of telling God how big your problems are, tell your problems how big God is. So instead of, we are always complaining when we come here, and I used to complain for sure, and I still do a lot of times, why me, or why these issues are happening, and I'm just being honest, it happens, it's just what we are conditioned to do. So slowly, if you're conscious, that changes, that we need to start doing it the other way, where we say to the problem, hey, have you seen our God? Right? So like that. So what we need to do is, now let's get people who have heard me in the past, some practical stuff is coming. Okay, what do we need to do really? Okay, all of this sounds good, Prabhuji, yes, insurmountable, they're bad, I'm not expecting it, all sounds good. What do we really do? Okay, so let's get on to the practical side also. So we need to turn our pain to purpose. We need to turn our pain to purpose. We need to change our problem to progress. It's that shift in mentality. So when something bad happens in our life, so we need to do three things. Right? Now this is something that every one of us can do. It's not difficult at all. Right? It's not difficult. There are three things we need to do. So one is, we need to look for something. We need to look. So whenever something bad happens, or whenever an obstacle comes, it's our human tendency. It's very, very natural. We're conditioned like that to just focus on the problem. Right? And sometimes we get so overwhelmed by it that nothing else, you can see anything. You can't see anything. So what do they say? Right? I'm in business, and they say, when you should ideally not work in the business, but work on the business. Right? So same thing, when you got a problem, you look at it from a bird's eye view. So you look at, yes, the problem's there, but you look for everything that is good around the problem. Yes? Can everyone do that? Yes? So when we get a problem, we look for everything else that is really good, in our lives. Yeah? Easy to do? Yes? Maybe not. You can tell your partner or your kids or anyone to remember you, remind you who are around you. Because when a problem comes, it's not easy to remember that. But yes, your friends, your wife or your husband, your kids, they will probably easily remind you, right? Have a lot of patience. So we should always look for the higher perspective. Krishna says in so many verses, earlier also, he said, be tolerant. It's like, challenges are like seasons, they come and go. So we need to be patient. Yes, easier said than done, but we can all do that. Patience is a virtue. We should all have a bit of patience. Whenever the problem comes, we should not react straight away. Leave it for some time, if it's not that urgent, and then eventually we will see through it. We will see through the problem. I mean, you can see, humans have gone so far where, we've sort of built tunnels. We're having a cross-river rail all underground. We're building these tunnels through. We're working all the problems through. And it's through patience and perseverance. So I'm sure all of us, it is within us to do this. Oh. Too much animation. Okay, so instead of complaining, ask God, what is the lesson you're trying to teach me? Again, it's easier said than done, but it is possible. Whenever challenges come to us, it's not difficult to ask, what am I learning? There is a reason why problems are coming to me. Right? There is a reason. So, what's the next one? Yeah. So, obstacles. Hang on. I lost my train of thoughts in a second. Okay, so we think obstacles won't come, we think obstacles are bad, we think obstacles are insurmountable, right? So what do? It's just a shift in mentality. We can all do this. When we think obstacles won't come, we just simply adjust our expectations. When we think obstacles are bad, we just embrace the situation. And when we think obstacles are insurmountable, we just aspire to connect with someone. Yes? There are a lot of examples around us who are always willing to help us. Right? Always willing to help us. So this is a very interesting one for me. I really related to this one. And I'm hoping all of you can as well. So, there are three types of people, right, that according to us. Right? There is material life, there is spiritual life, and there is Krishna conscious life. Right? So we all want to be comfortable. We talked about the line, yes, everyone agreed that we all want to be comfortable, right? In that straight line. So that's like material life. We all want to be comfortable, go out, have fun. I said, Saturday night, you guys are here. You could have been anywhere. You could maybe Fortitude Valley, Green Street Mall, I don't know. But you decided to be here. So you guys are all spiritual, right? At least a bit. Right? Or some of us came to celebrate birthday party here. Dream Saint Prabhu's birthday. Hare Krishna. So, and then there is Krishna conscious life. So, when I first saw this, does anyone feel what's the difference between? Did it occur to anyone? What's spiritual and Krishna conscious? How is it different?
Yes.
Right? So I think I mentioned it earlier. Right? So we think, this is a photo from MVT in Vrindavan. Whoever's been to Vrindavan, you've been to MVT? Yes. Everyone's who's been to Vrindavan, I'm sure they've been to MVT. Right? Some people go to Vrindavan just because they can go to MVT also. So you're spiritual, right? Yes, you go for all the darshans. Yes, you enjoy. Here we come, we wear tilak, we wear clothes, nice clothes, and yes, yes, Prabhu Prashadam, yes, but that's 4 hours a week. We come to temple from 5 to 9 or whatever it is, 5 to 8, and that's it. Then you go home. There's a nice meme I saw. I'm chanting back. So the moment you finish your rounds, you just there's someone sent a meme. It's like you're just throwing away the bags. Hey, Haribol, Prabhu. So that's spiritual life. Yes, we can be spiritual. We think we are spiritual, but it's really what we need to be. What Krishna really wants us to establish is that we need to be conscious. Krishna is looking for that sincerity that we are conscious all the time of what we're doing. So the reason I took that photo was these guys are dedicated. If you see them every day, Harinam, they're going out every single day, changing lives of people. So they are completely committed. So yes, whilst we might think that it's the example, of that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj gave about anchoring the boat. That's I relate it to mainly the middle one, the spiritual life, right? We're all trying really hard. Yes, yes, yes. We're rowing and rowing and rowing. Yes, Prabhu, I'm chanting around. Yes, I'm doing this. Yes, I give donations, I give a lot of donations. Yes, joy. But are you still attached, materially attached? Are we still making progress? Maybe not. So Radhanath Maharaj says this really nicely. He says, obstacles become blessings with the right angle of vision. Try to understand your life's lessons and persevere while humbly seeking shelter of the Supreme with your heart. The key point I was trying to make here with this verse, with this text, was that it's the angle of vision. Right? It's the angle of vision. It's the way we look at our obstacles. We said three things, right? We said three things earlier of how we can look at it differently, and the obstacles, we can change our perspective, we can change our mentality. So my Guru Maharaj again used to give this very good example, and I always think about it. Our situation is like this. You see someone, have you ever seen someone in maybe movies, but hanging from a building? Yeah, one hand, right? Yeah, one hand they're hanging from a building and they're going to fall down and they think they're going to die. So our situation is a bit like this. We are hanging on to material life, and then spiritual life is waiting for us. Krishna conscious life is waiting for us. And at some stage, we've got to leave these material attachments. We've got to leave this hand, and then we've got to have faith that Krishna is going to catch us. We're going to have that faith. We have to have that faith. Right? Prabhupada says, give one life to Krishna consciousness. So like that, we are holding on, and similarly with the example that with the rowing, we are holding on and not letting go. So we all need to leave that hand and have faith in Krishna that He will take care of us like that. So I just wanted to sort of 7:30. I just want to sort of quickly conclude with a few points. So life is not a straight path. It's not going to be for anyone. It is filled with a lot of highs and even basically a lot of lows also. Just like a river, it will have all the sorts of twists and turns. Obstacles are there not to break us, but obstacles are there to actually reveal something to us that is deeper within us that we don't understand, right? And that is what Krishna is looking for, is our consciousness. So we need to shift our mindset. Right? We need to shift our mindset from being resistant to being accepting, to accept things. Yes. From fear, as you said, we're holding on, to faith. Right? We need to begin to see that every challenge is actually an opportunity for us. Every challenge is an opportunity. It might not seem like that, but it's actually an opportunity for us to learn. Every struggle is a lesson, and every loss is preparing for a higher gain. Every loss is preparing us for a higher gain. So instead of asking, why is it happening to me? We want to say, as I said earlier, what is Krishna trying to teach me? Yes. Why me? No, you just change that. Shift in mentality. What is Krishna really trying to teach me here? So instead of seeing obstacles as setbacks, see them as stepping stones. So if we allow Krishna to be the charioteer of our life, as we have seen with Arjuna's case, we are never going to have any issues. So I want to leave all of you with 3 questions that you can contemplate. They say that a person doesn't become wise with age, but a person becomes wise with introspection. A person becomes wise with introspection. So, 3 things to sort of go back, and maybe when you're sleeping at night, to think about when you're lying in bed, think about these 3 things. Can I look back at a past struggle in my life? So look back at any one of your past struggles in your life and see how it has shaped you in a positive way. Yeah. So, number 1, if you got your books or notes or phone, please write this down. This is very important. We can probably discuss it out later when we meet again. So, look back at one of your past struggles and see how it has shaped your life. Number 2, what attachments in my life might be keeping me stuck in that place? You saw the example of the rowing again. What are those attachments? Contemplate, think about it. There would be something that will come out. Okay? And then lastly, how can I shift my mindset so that the obstacles become an opportunity for spiritual growth? So thank you everyone. So may we all cultivate the vision to see Krishna in Krishna's hand in everything. My Guru Maharaj again was asked one time, Maharaj, have you seen Krishna? He says, No, I haven't seen Krishna, but I see his hand everywhere. Right? So maybe you all develop that vision to see Krishna's hand everywhere, knowing that nothing in this life that happens to us is just by chance or random. Everything is leading us closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for listening. This is the last slide, and thank you, Hare Krishna. We'll all rise up for Aarti. But is there any quick questions? Maybe we can take a one or two, but if there's nothing, we can rise up for Aarti. All right. So, Prabhupada ki.
Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shiva Jaya, Jaya, Rajade, Arati Gosawami. Shiva Jaya, Jaya Manava